Welcome to The Explainer. We're here to break down complex topics into clear, understandable guides. So let's start with a really big question, a fundamental challenge in construction. Think about it. How do you get these massive, heavy, precast concrete pieces, which, let's be honest, are never going to be mathematically perfect? How do you get them to align flawlessly out on a job site? Well, the short answer is you don't. The secret isn't about chasing some impossible idea of perfection. Honestly, that's just a myth in manufacturing. The real genius, the real skill, lies in brilliantly controlling and planning for those inevitable tiny variations. And that brings us to the unsung hero of quality control. It's a concept called tolerance, and you'll find it defined right there in the PCI TM-101 manual. Okay, so let's get this straight, because it's absolutely crucial. Tolerance isn't a mistake. It is not a failure. It is a planned, acceptable range of variation. Think of it like this. It's the engineered bridge that allows the real, physical world to actually meet the blueprint's design. Now, tolerance actually falls into three main categories. But for you folks in plant quality control, the one that really matters, the one we're zeroing in on today, is that first one, product tolerances. This is all about the dimensional accuracy of each individual piece before it ever leaves the plant. All right, so if we're going to control product tolerances, we first have to understand what we're up against. You've got to know your enemy, right? Well, think of these as the natural forces constantly trying to throw your dimensions out of whack. And here they are, the 5 key forces straight out of the TM-101 manual. Think of these as the primary villains that you, as an inspector, are battling every single day to maintain quality and precision. First up, the forms. This is ground zero. The rule is simple, but it is absolutely non-negotiable. If your mold isn't accurate, the product you're making has zero chance of being accurate. It all starts right here. Next, you've got the immense power of pre-stressing. When you apply that much tensioning force, you're physically changing the product. It's going to shorten, it's going to develop camber, that's that upward arch, and its ends can even rotate a bit. These aren't mistakes. They are predictable changes that you absolutely have to account for. Then we have the material just doing its thing. You know, concrete isn't static. It shrinks as it cures, and over its long-term life, it undergoes something called creep, which is just a slow, gradual change in shape when it's under a sustained load. And finally, never, ever underestimate temperature. A long concrete member sitting out in the yard with one side baking in the sun is going to have measurably different dimensions than the side that's in the shade. It can lengthen, shorten, bow, or sweep. It's a powerful force. So, why do we wrestle with all these powerful forces? Because getting it wrong isn't some small issue. The stakes are incredibly high, affecting everything from job site safety all the way to the project's bottom line. And just look at the direct consequences here. A small deviation in the plant, say an end that's slightly out of square, it doesn't stay a small problem. It snowballs. By the time it gets to the construction site, it's become a major headache, causing delays and costing a whole lot of money. Which brings this whole thing right back around to your critical role as a QC technician. You are on the front lines of this battle. You're the guardians of quality. So, given all these constant challenges and the super high stakes, what's your primary function as outlined in the PCI standards? What is your mission? You are the guardian of these tolerances. Your job is to understand the project requirements, to verify the setup before any concrete gets poured, to use the right tools for the job, and to meticulously measure and document that final product. You are the critical link that ensures what gets built in the plant actually works in the field. So this explainer, it gives you the what and the why of product tolerances. But the real art, the real skill, is applying this knowledge day in and day out. Which leaves us with a final thought to consider in your work. How do you uphold these critical standards while navigating the very real-world pressures of a busy production schedule? That right there, that is the challenge, and that is the mark of a true quality professional.